Kelsang Dolma is a student of Yale University. She is recently in the news for her achievement to create a Tibetan studies program at her university. Tibet, an enduring civilization, is the course that was introduced this semester, and it's largely a product of her activism. Let's talk to her to find out more of it. First of all, congratulations to you for being able to finally create a Tibetan studies course at Yale University. I understand that student advocacy to create a new course is actually rare, but you did it. I'm sure you went through a lot of difficulties to bring this course to a reality. So tell us, how did you work this out, and how do you feel about the fact that this course is now a reality?
Yeah, so the having a course at Yale is a very complicated process. Usually, like students advocating for courses don't usually get them. Like the normal way to get a course at Yale is like if you become a professor and then you teach the course yourself. I went with the unconventional way just because there weren't any obvious professors at Yale who could teach the course. So at first, I was taking this course called Comparative Ethnic Studies, and for my final project, I could do whatever I wanted. So I made a Tibet studies syllabus, and in the syllabus, I detailed like how the course would be structured, like what literature would be in it, what topics would be covered. So I went around trying to find professors who could maybe teach the course, because if I had a syllabus, then it would seem my project would seem more serious. And I also made like a petition to circulate around the Yale community, trying to engage with students to see how likely it would be for students to actually take the course. And I ended up getting over 200 signatures, and most of them were from undergraduate students. But it was very difficult, mostly because there weren't a lot of Tibetologists in the first place. And there are even fewer Tibetologists on the East Coast. In addition, Yale doesn't really have the money to have a course instituted whenever a student asks for it. So I was told by a lot of Yale administrators that I should find someone at Yale who could teach the course, but there weren't anyone to teach the course. Then that was all of my junior year spring. And then I came for my senior year fall semester, and I figured that, what if I instituted a modern Chinese imperialism course? Like, even though it's not Tibet-centric, it's a part of Tibetan history, which would also play into, like, the purpose of this course. So I went around and made another syllabus, modern Chinese imperialism syllabus, which included Tibetan history. And I figured since there were so many China historians, China studies professors at Yale, that someone would be able to teach the course. But again, nobody could really help me. Nobody really wanted to teach the course, or nobody came forward to like offer me any support as to who could potentially teach the course. So then I was kind of very disheartened. So I was trying to do some research to figure out like, what are the Yale China connections? What are the Yale Tibet connections? Maybe through those researching methods, like maybe I'll find like a clue as to who could teach the course. So I went to the Yale Sterling Library, and within the library, there's like this room called the Archives. So I had ordered some materials about Yale, Tibet, and China, and I was reading through these notes, and in this one particular box, there was tons of notes about Tibetan Buddhism and Tibetan history, and I was like, wow, like who is this? Like who wrote these notes? And then I read the box's title, and it said, these notes are property of Professor Charles Hill, and I was like, who's Charles Hill? So I looked him up, and I was like, wow, this is a professor who is currently at Yale. So I emailed him immediately. I was like, hello, Professor Charles Hill, like, this is like out of the blue, but I'm trying to find someone to teach a Tibet course or a modern Chinese imperialism course. Like, do you know anyone who could teach the course, or would you be able to teach the course? And Professor Charles Hill offered to meet with me, and I was like, great. So I met with him, and yeah, long story short, he offered to teach the course, and that's where we are today. And honestly, I'm still shocked that it worked out. I'm very happy, of course, still really like in a daze, but I'm just super grateful at this point.
Okay, Kesala, speaking of this Tibetan studies course, there are actually 16 students this semester, right?
Yes.
So how optimistic are you about the future of this course? In fact, you mentioned about Charles Hill, who actually teaches this course, and he said that he will continue to teach next year in case there are enough students enrolling for this course. So how optimistic are you that this course will continue next year?
I'm pretty optimistic, I would say, just because like Tibet studies is becoming more obvious as like a very legitimate and important course, especially with China's growing influence across the globe related to like the Belt and Road initiatives, the Yale-China trade wars. I believe that you can't understand imperialism unless you study Eastern imperialism. And I don't think you can study Chinese history without studying Tibetan history. Like, without these conversations and discourses, like, you are getting an incomplete picture. And I believe if more people realize that, then more people would take the course. And I think since the course is getting a lot of advertisement through the Yale Daily News, the media, I think there's a very good chance that we'll have similar amounts of students wanting to take the course next year. And also, like, of course, like, Tibetan Buddhists or people interested in Buddhism will always be interested in Tibetan Buddhism, just because Tibetan Buddhism is like the heart of Buddhism.
Okay, Kelsang, I understand that apart from you, there are a few other Tibetan students in the university. So how do you and your friends introduce Tibet to the Yale community?
Yeah, so when I first got to Yale, I was like the only undergraduate Tibetan student, and that was very difficult. And Yale has like this wonderful like cultural centers for pretty much every race. And there's one called the Asian American Cultural Center, but I walked into the Asian Cultural Center and didn't feel like I quite belonged, just because, yes, there was like a Chinese Student Association group, there was a South Asian Student Association group, and Japanese, Korean, and so on, but I did not fit into any of these groups, so I wanted to make my own community. So I started the Tibetan Cultural Association group and got a few of my friends to join me, and they were very supportive, but it was still a very small group. So I decided to expand it into the Himalayan Student Association group, which would include Bhutanese students, Nepalese students, Indian students, like, and maybe some of the other regions as well. And then it grew. And yeah, we host Losar every year. We sometimes post things about like Tibetan history, Tibetan politics. Yeah.
Okay, Kelsang, that's all we want to ask. Thank you for your time, and I wish you all the very best for your Tibet activism.
Thank you. Thank you for interviewing me.
Recognizing Kelsang Dolma's achievement, Tsewang Gyalpo Arya, who heads the CTA Media Bureau, said young Tibetan students studying in various parts of the world should also make efforts to introduce Tibet in their respective environment.
I think this is a very good initiative, and most of the university students, especially in Canada, America, and Switzerland and Australia, these university students should also take this kind of initiative. Because if we can introduce a Tibetan study in Tibetan language, history, and other things, in especially Buddhism also, if we can introduce these studies in at university levels, so there will be more interest, not only from the Tibetan, but from other peoples also. So which would gradually or automatically promote the Tibetan studies in the university. So I think not only foreign countries, even in Indian university also, especially Tibetan universities and in most of the South also, young students, they should take some initiatives and try to work out with their professor and the faculty member and try to introduce the Tibetan language and Tibetan studies, which would be very helpful. So in this regard, what this young lady, Kelsang Dolma, has done, it is a very wonderful job. We should all take inspirations in order to have the Tibetan language and Tibetan studies going on in foreign countries. So it is very important that at the school level and in university levels, these kind of studies are introduced, and it should be, we Tibetans should be making the effort in doing so. I think in that regards, I congratulate Ms. Kelsang Dolma for doing this, and I request other university students also to follow this kind of things in their own respective universities.